left you off with the cliffhanger on my last podcast episode, and I just wanted to clarify, you know, with referring to my last episode, is that the main idea was to don't look at cryptocurrencies just get rich quick, and and really do your due diligence before you invest in the cryptocurrencies. And then I'll explain a little bit more why during this episode, but I just wanted to let my audience know from who would listen to the last one, just to get the main idea of the episode. So this one kind of has like little similarities. I would say this would be part two to that, and I'll tell you why. It's because 97% of Brits don't own crypto. A new report came out from the United Kingdom, primarily regulator suggests we're still in a long way from cryptocurrency revolution. According to the reports, only 3% of people in the UK have bought cryptocurrency, and an enormous 73% still have no idea what crypto is or how to define it. So, do my audience, do you guys listen like where I'm coming from with what I said before in the past about how not a lot of people really understand the idea, and but the thing is that it's important that it's growing, and every day the tree gets a little bit of water, and it's starting to bloom, and pretty soon we're gonna have a pretty big rainforest of crypto trees around, and that's gonna be an amazing event to see. And on the bright side, if you own crypto now, if you're in the UK, you are in the 3% club. If cryptos do become mainstream, you got in early, and that's very important. We're still in the very beginning stages of blockchain technology, and it's going to be a long road for us for our lifetime. And our lifetime's not very long, so we can assure ourselves that we made the right decision in investing into Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Ripple, any of those top 10 on coin market cap. Many of those who bought cryptocurrencies admitted to a poor understanding of them. 16% of crypto buyers say they hadn't done any research at all. 4% research cryptos after their purchase. And those numbers are very depressing, and especially for those people that have experience in the stock market. Having the experience in another industry is you could apply it to something else when you move on to different aspirations and in liquidities. And and anything, this applies for anything you do with business. If for an example, I listen to this podcaster, and he's a dog groomer, and he works very hard and takes great pride in what he does and making sure his customers, animals, their pets, are looking at their Sunday best when the next time the owner sees their dog after he's done with them. And he's very proud of that. and he's grown so much, and he shares his story on the Tao of June, and really good inspiration. I highly recommend that my audience check him out. Talks about like deep things that really get you thinking and really fulfill your goals, and that applies. And what his methodology is, applies to any aspect of business, especially with cryptocurrency as an industry, and just really taking the time to grow with it, and learning learning from your experiences, and learning by failure and trial and error, especially. And not everybody's going to make it big the first shot. That's why we have to keep striving and do more, learn more, absorb what valuable information we could use one day at a time to become pros and champions at the end, when everybody's asking us how we did it. And we're going to be able to tell our success story, and we're going to be able to be like, well, there was this really tough time when not a lot of people knew about this thing called blockchain, but it kind of like the internet in the 90s, and not a lot of people know how to use it and understand the concept. But as time evolved, and in the years past, people really started taking the internet serious, and the same thing is going to be with digital assets. And the thing with the internet is the boom that it had. It made a lot of people that work in the post office lose their jobs, because people were starting to use email instead of paper mail, and that just transformed the way people were able to communicate with each other across the globe. And it's an amazing story behind it, and not a lot of people understand. And because everybody's really fast paced, and going as quickly, and and racing and burning out before they could get to the end of the finish line. So don't get burned out by it. Stay calm, stay collected, and be patient. The most important thing is to be patient, and and learning money management, and how that success will be an inspiration. Like someone else done it before, and I know if they can do it, I can do it too. And there's some people that have been doing this quite a while, and I call them crypto veterans. So they really have an idea, and we're in it right when Bitcoin just came out, and Satoshi Nakamoto announced it to the whole world with his white paper, and basically put it and made it simple for someone to understand and read, in the way that we're able to transfer money through blocks. And there's just so much you can't really grasp your mind around it, because it's so complicated and complex. And the way he designed it was very meticulous, and and really showed the true genius in people with creating technology, creating something that no one's ever seen or heard of before. And that's why Steve Jobs invested into Pixel animated movies, or animated computer movies, like the Toy Story or E-Wally, and what is it? Bugs, Ants, all those little Disney-owned movies, and that teamed up with that Disney bought Pixel, and so they collaborated together, and then that's how basically Steve Jobs ended up on the board of Disney, because he became a billionaire overnight by investing in the Pixel. True story. look it up. I mean, I highly recommend that you see other entrepreneurs taking hold in their business aspirations and seeing the long process, even with the founder of Amazon in the 90s and how he stayed with it, and that was his chapter one. And don't compare yourself to someone else. It says chapter 20 to your one. Okay? Please give an applause if you understand that. Yay! And it's good stuff. You really should be writing this down. So I recommend it. If you don't have a pen and a paper with you, go ahead and pause the podcast and come back to it and start taking some notes and rewind it a little bit if you missed some stuff. Or if you're listening to your car, I know a lot of people like to listen to the radio stations in the car on their way to work, on their way home from work. When you get home, just set yourself a little reminder on your phone for when you get home to write some things down that might be key, that might have um, stood out to you in my podcast, and that goes a long way. I'm telling you, it's they're the tools people need to know and to have for when they're starting their business venture in entrepreneurship, and their education also with investing money like real estate, stocks, anything. uh, Many of those who I'm sorry. Anyways, we still have huge education problem in the crypto community. A lack of accessibility and accurate cryptocurrency information has led to poor investment decisions and a weariness of crypto in general. And I fell victim of not doing my research to buying some currencies, and I definitely paid the price for it. But that falls in line with having experience, and I really wish I would have learned from other people's experience. But the problem is that this is so new. Like you're bound to make mistakes, and you have to learn from it. Just for the fact that not a lot of people really understand the way this this works, and the potential. And there's a lot of risk involved too, major risks. And no one likes to make hard decisions, but the moment you're able to take risk and fail and learn from that failed risk, you're able to know which connect the dots what you did last time, and change it up to what you can do right this time. And that goes with like failing at business. If you fail at business one time, do it again. Keep doing it and keep failing until you finally get that one right decision and that right business move in that right industry. Then you're golden. Then it paid off. The purpose, the trial and error help you prepare for your success. And don't be scared of success either. I know a lot of people are afraid of, like, what can happen if this happens. Do I really want to be that big? Take on the challenge. It'll show you who you are as a character. The most popular purchase is Bitcoin, which accounts for 51% of buyers. Ethereum is the second, and Litecoin is the third. Most buyers spend less than $263 on their purchases, which seems most haven't risked a lot of capital. Look on the bright side. You can look at this way. If you hold Bitcoin now, you're one of the tiny um, potential of society at the first of its train. If the other 97% of non-coin holders jump on board, we're all going to be going to the moon. So just just keep that in mind in the back of your head, and that's pretty much all I have for you for my Crypto Nation today. And I hope you really enjoyed this podcast show. I put a lot of thought and work in all my episodes, and some might be longer than others, but it's just about gathering as much as I can and able to present it to you and do it with to the best of my ability. And please share this podcast on your social media. And if you're listening on Anchor, call in, let me know your thoughts. If you agree, disagree, how long you've been doing this for, would be great. And take care. Have a good one, guys and girls.